Joining on the sofa with Esther, Basil Bankston, a multi-instrumentalist and singer who will be talking about his career to date. Minutes with another incredible artist. So let me do the introductions. Today I'm talking to Basil Bankston, performer, entertainer, musician, jazz trumpeter. He speaks Spanish and Portuguese, and he's a man on a mission, a man on a mission. So welcome, Basil.
Well, thank you, Esther. It's really great to meet you. Finally get a chance to meet you. I've been wanting to do this a long time. How you doing?
I'm good, and I hope you are well. Well,
Great.
as they say, let's dive in. Let's dive in. And I have to ask this question, Basil, as I ask all my guests: who is Basil Bankston in a nutshell, in a peanut shell, or a crab shell? And let's keep it brief, because then I'm going to expand on who you are in your career shortly.
All right. In a nutshell, Basil Benedict Bankston. Love, faith, favor of God, music, joy, happiness, peace, versatility, Jesus.
And you say all that. So who are you with all of that? Who is Basil with all of that?
Uh,
A bit deep.
I was created to be a performer, entertainer, musician. You know, the real Basil Bankston is spiritual, totally love. I love people. You know, I expand on the music to really make people happy. You know, I would love them to be satisfied and excuse me, love what I'm doing, and I love people to hear my music, and I love performing for people so very much. You know, it's one of these things that you're born to do. These are one of the things that God has chosen that specific person on purpose. You see, on purpose to do this for the public. So there's no way you can say, oh, "What am I doing here?" You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when was the first time that you realized, Basil, that this was your calling?
When I was about 5 years old, we used to watch a lot of variety shows and stuff like that. And I saw the great Sammy Davis Jr. I mean, I saw a lot of performers and things, but this cat was different. You know what I mean? This cat sang, he danced, he acted, he did impersonations, singing impersonations, comedy, played every instrument in the band. And when I got old enough and really got into him, I said, that's what I want to do. That opened the door for a lot of Black performers, and he opened the door for me, because that's when I realized, I knew right then and there, that's what I wanted to do. My parents, I came out of my parents' living room. They had everything from Bach to Duke Ellington. They had everything, and they had hundreds of albums, and I mesmerized and memorized every single one of those albums, even the pops and scratches, and I began performing those. I picked up the trumpet at 13, and I turned pro at 14 in ninth grade. I was already playing with the Magic City Soul Band, and we were playing Earth, Wind, Fire, and all that great stuff. And in ninth grade, playing all that stuff, And so I just kept on going, and I just kept on going through high school, played every band in high school. I did everything in college, and then I got my first break in 1987 with KC and the Sunshine Band. He did a world tour with them. And then I came home, and we did a tour with Lionel Hampton. Lionel Hampton's big band. I got a chance to sit in with the Count Basie Orchestra. And then I went to the Latin scene and played with John Spider Martin. And then I went to the Latin scene, Tito Puente, Mongo Santa Maria, Potato Valdez, Chapito Santana, all these cats. And boy, I tell you, it was one of the most beautiful musical experiences of my life. I tell you, and that's playing trumpet. And then in 1992, I got called to go sing lead for the Platters, a tribute group, one of the greatest tribute groups in the world. We went to Spain, Valencia, and we were stationed there 4 or 5 months out of the year. And boy, and we took it from there. Then got a chance to sing with the International Fourtops, the Drifters, the Coasters, the Cadillacs. And then after that, the last group I was with was the Dynamics. And they voted me who's who in American music. And I've been just going up from there.
Brilliant, brilliant. And I am almost tempted, not I'm almost tempted, I am tempted to ask you for a rendition, Basil, because your energy and your vibration is high. And if you whatever comes to you, because I'm going to ask you in between to give us a little rendition of something. And because I've just
sure, for you got it.
Brilliant. Because I've just finished interviewing Gwen Dickey, and I really should have asked her to do something, but and that was a fantastic interview. So this really follows on in a really, really good way. So just give us a little something, if you feel to, because I might just pop in on occasion in between the interviews and say, I've seen you
do right now.
Yeah, you sing Only You by the Platters. So
all right, go. This one's for you. Only you can make of this world seem right. Only you can make of the darkness light. All right, that's for you.
Okay, I got that. Bam, 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 bam.
Wow.
And following up on that, I mean, like you said, you've traveled extensively. You've sang with some of the greatest bands.
Yeah.
So you're a trumpeter. I would say you're a multi-instrumentalist.
I play about 20 different instruments. I can play anything in an orchestra.
Okay.
I can play anything in an orchestra. And then on top of that, playing jazz. I mean, trumpet is actually my favorite instrument, In New York, I got a chance. I was with Curtis Lundy and Bobby Watson's big band. Curtis Lundy and Bobby Watson's band. And I got a chance to meet Wynton Marsalis and Terrence Blanchard and Red Rodney and Paquito de Riviera, all these great jazz cats, man. And I tell you, it was one of the greatest experiences. And it started in New York, and I just kept on going. I just kept going from there.
What to say? And I can surmise that you've had many incredible experiences. I mean, you've mentioned Sammy Davis Jr. was an inspiration, Count Basie, and so many. I mean, there's so many others. But if you are to pick maybe two experiences when you've performed and something miraculous has happened. I mean, I'm sure miracles happen all the time in your world, Basil. But if there are two specific performances that really you saw something happen in someone, in the member of the audience, you touched their life, or yeah.
I'm sorry. You said, would you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, apologies. So, in your time of performing, Can you sort of pinpoint two experiences where you
Oh,
saw the magic of what you guys were doing touch people's lives in some way?
well, when I was singing lead for the Platters, we were in Valencia, Spain, doing one of our biggest shows, and I'm singing lead, And while I was singing, about five people got up in front of me while I was singing with the group, and they just surrounded me. They just surrounded me and they started crying and they were just holding me, and a it was like a warm blanket. It was like God was telling me something, you know what I mean? And it was Jesus, and it was such love that poured out. It just blew me away, and that was definitely one of them the one of the experiences that I never forgot. And another experience was when I was playing trumpet in New York. When I was first there, the second night, I went to go see Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, you know. And so Art Blakey himself saw me standing by the bar, and he came over and he put his arm around me and he kissed me. He said, "Hey, what's happening, my brother?" I said, "Great, man." He said, "Would you like to sit in?" I said, "Yeah, man." And Terrence Blanchard, Matisse, Donald Harrison, and all these cats were in the group at the time. They're big names now. And I was sitting in with them, and there was people that came up to me, man, and said, "Hey, man, where are you from?" I said, "Miami," and we love the way you play. And they invited me to a table after, because we could only sit in the jam sessions, and we couldn't sit in the actual show. And so I sat in with Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. Terrence Blanchard was talking to me, one of the greatest. He's a great writer and composer for a lot of the theme songs and movies that we hear today. And boy, I tell you, it was just beautiful. And the love that was shown to me, man, I had goosebumps all over me. And I still got them to this day. I still feel it right now.
We received quite a few awards on and you have to help me if I get this wrong. Is it the indie charts, the radio indie charts? Is that correct? Or the radio indie network?
Oh, Radio Indie International Network. Yeah, that's Angelo Petruzzi and April Crenshaw. I just wanted to say that they really helped me so much push my career, and they're really behind me. Now, my song, You and Me, it's in like 50 something countries right now. My music, it's all around the globe. It's being played all over the place. You know, I'd like to get in the Billboard 100 and 200, on the charts, and I'd like to be in the charts over there in the UK also. I love the UK, man. I tell you, UK is just, oh man, just beautiful. London, England, some of the greatest performers in the world live there.
Absolutely. And I was almost afraid that you would say, "Have you met the Queen?" Because when I come to the States, I get those sort of questions. I'm like, well, the like the Queen, but yeah, yeah.
Right on.
What about You and Me though, Basil? When you wrote that, where did it come from? And have you written any other songs as well?
Oh yeah. Well, they come from the spirit, comes from life. Now, this particular song, You and Me, was actually written by Paul Hoyle, a Grammy Award winner, friend of mine. And he wrote that for me, as a matter of fact, him and Brenda Kupferman. They actually wrote that one, they actually wrote for me. And it was beautiful. I mean, I came to him with an idea, about a tune and everything, and I was thinking of it, that I had a couple of other songs mixed in with it. And so I laid it down, and Brenda wrote the lyrics, he wrote the music, and man, it turned out to be a hit.
Brilliant.
And the songs that I write, they come from within. They come from life experiences, things that you see every day, conversations, things like that. The way people feel, the way they are, you know what I mean? The essence of everything, those things. Love, it comes out of love, sorrow, joy, peace. It comes out of God, really, Jesus. It comes from that. And because he's the one that lays all those experiences down for you so you can actually use them to your advantage.
Mm, that's interesting because, and I'm going to unpeel that if I may, because you say it's for us to use our experiences to our advantage. So if
Yeah,
I were to say,
yeah,
if someone said to you, but I've been through a lot, I've been through a lot of pain,
yeah.
how would you say to them, how you can overcome, how would they use that to their advantage?
Well, I tell them, well, what the first thing you need to do, if you're going through bad things and this and that, first thing you need to do is change what you're saying. Because your words can dig a grave for you that you never even knew. You know what I mean? Just blurting out stuff. Blah, 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 blah. What you want to do is, ask God, to take over your thoughts, words, and your actions. Now, this is a very important factor in life, period, because, everything's been taken care of from you, from the elements of the weather right down to the shoes on your feet. You see, the cross of Calvary covered all that. So, what I'm saying is that, not being conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You see, that's including what you think, you say, and you do. You see what I mean? And once you get a hold of that, things will start to work to your advantage then, because all the bad things that happened to you in the past, God didn't forget about that. No, he says, I'll make it work for you. He's the only one that says, I won't let you fail. You see what I mean? And you won't. You won't. And plus, all those bad things and the things, those things, they're only temporary. The things that are seen, they're temporary. But the things that are not seen are eternal. Now, a closer rendition of that is the things that are seen are subject to change, you see? And the things that are not seen are not subject to change. So the way you make it work is this way. You get over to that which is not subject to change, apply it to that which is subject to change, and don't look at those things that are subject to change, but look at the things that are not subject to change. Those eternal things will change those things, and it'll be subjected to it.
Feeling this is feeling sounding and feeling like church tonight. So anybody who's listening,
Well, I'm just telling you the truth. That comes straight out of the Word of God. You see, I take it literally and for what it says. And what that says, that's talking about me. You dig? That's talking about me. You take it in the first person all the time. You see? Because that's literally what it is. God, that book is a copy of words that God used to release his faith, you see? But the only difference is it's been made available to men.
wow, fantastic. So,
That's the truth. That's the truth. You know what I'm telling you, it's the truth.
yeah, absolutely. Because I'm learning to walk more and more within that space.
Oh, yeah. You see, and I tell you something, and also when you get a hold of that, standing's not nearly as hard as you thought it was, you see? And then you apply that to your music. And then, boy, you got a winner there. The faith of God mixed with your music, which is his music to begin with. And it's your faith and it's his faith to start with. And you put that out there, boy, I tell you, you got something there.
Wow. I guess, I mean, the next question would be, where to next for Basil Bankston? We're coming to the end of another year, an incredible year on many levels, lots of learning, lots has happened. There's a lot, especially now, I know in the States, there's the elections next week. We don't get into that. So, with your vibration, your energy and what you bring, obviously, when you speak to people, it's going to be a place of where you uphold and where you inspire. So where to next?
Oh, like you. I mean, when you speak, you inspire also. Now, that's one thing I wanted to tell you. I want to tell you, thank you so very, very much for this interview. I'm so grateful. It's the favor of God. And also, the main thing I want to say was thank you so much, Esther Austin, for your inspiration.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, you are something else. You're great.
Thank you. Thank you. And so where to next for Basil Bankston?
Well, I would like to come over there. I'd like to come over there, of course, come to London, England pretty soon, probably before this year. So I just came from Spain a few weeks ago, doing some shows out there, and Argentina and Brazil. I had to hit those, because they're playing my music over there too, and looking for my next world tour, radio, TV interviews, and going around the globe again, television, commercials, movies. I'm also professional singing, dancing, acting, impersonations, singing impersonations, comedy, write, range, and compose also. And, I'm looking forward to that. And spewing a lot of love out there, and I'm also a romantic to my heart, I mean, all the music is just beautiful. I mean, it's pretty much about love, and that's what it's all about, man. If it can change someone's life, that they could hear that and it changed their life, and they come to me about it, I thank God. But I thank God all the time, because He's the one that gave me the idea. He set me up before the foundations of the world. He set me up, to do this, and He chose me to do this. And so I know why I'm here. I know why I'm doing this, And so it's only natural that other people will feel what I'm doing,
I was trying to interrupt you when you were in your flow, but you talked about doing an impersonation. We've literally got about 3 minutes left before the end of the show. And so, who do you impersonate? Can you give us an impression of someone that have I put you on the
Oh, well, you got to really set up for that kind of stuff. But I'll have Sammy Davis Jr. I love that cat, man. He's really something else. He's like what kind of fool am I? Who never fell in love. It seems that I'm the only one, stuff like that,
Hey, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Well, I just want to say, Basil, it's been an absolute pleasure.
I can't hear you.
I said it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I know we've been trying to set for a while. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, that was on your side. So I just want to say thank you for
Oh, no, you're welcome, God. The pleasure is all mine. It's an honor. It's a true blue honor to do this interview with you. Wow.
yeah. I'm wishing you all the best. And yes, I mean you said you want to come to London by the end of the year, but I think it needs a little bit more time because you've got to set up a campaign, you got to build out a campaign and let people know that you're coming. So
Right on.
hopefully next year something can happen and will happen. But on that note, I just want to say thank you for your time, thank you for your energy, thank you for your wisdom, and just
Oh, no, thank you.
you all the very best. And may I be the first to wish you happy Thanksgiving and a Merry Christmas.
Happy Thanksgiving. I was born on Thanksgiving Day, November 24th. So my birthday and Thanksgiving hit every like maybe 5 or 6 years together, kind of like two blessings.
Oh, nice. I had wanted to come to the States this year for Thanksgiving, maybe a one-off random thing because I would love to experience the spirit of Thanksgiving in the States, but everything's
Oh,
possible, anything's possible. So I just want to say thank you, wishing you a wonderful week. Thank you to all those who've listened to both my shows this evening. I hope you've gathered from it. I had an incredible time with Gwen Dickey in part
thank you.
Basil Bankston, and wishing you all a wonderful week. And if you've left comments, I will I will respond accordingly afterwards. So wishing you all the very best. And next week I will be talking to Martha High, who had performed with James Brown for over 32 years.
Oh, wow. That'll be a great interview.
Yeah, it's gonna be. So looking forward. On that note, take care, wishing you well, and thank you to all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.